Howdy everybody, welcome back to my channel and Merry Christmas. Now I know this isn't the Obscure Cryptids Iceberg that I promised you, but I'm still working on it, I swear it'll be out soon. But I wanted to make a little video that was more festive for the holidays, you know, just really treat you guys, you know. I mean, hey, I'm starting a YouTube channel, I gotta, you know, keep track of these holidays. I figured what better way than to talk about a few crazy Christmas stories that you've probably never heard of. Or maybe you have. I really don't know. I don't know you like that. Now, I will warn you, the first story is a little darker than the other ones I chose to talk about. But hey, I mean, this is a channel dedicated to spooky stuff, so shouldn't be that big a deal. I'm just giving you a heads up. So get comfortable, snuggle up by the fire, and let's talk about some people who are definitely on the naughty list. The first on the list, we have the Christmas presents murder, and keep in mind, whenever I discuss true crime events, I try to be respectful for the victims and their families, as keep in mind, these are real people who were affected by these events. However, what I don't feel guilty of is cracking jokes at the expense of the perpetrators, because they are terrible people and they deserve to be made fun of. Such is the case with Patty Michelle White, who in December 2011 had killed her friend, 67-year-old Michelle O'Dowd. Now, the only reason Michelle allowed Patty to live with her for so long was because she was a family friend, because she was an ex-girlfriend of her nephew's. And even before these events took place, Patty just wasn't a very good person at all. Like, she would frequently steal money from Michelle and lie to her, and just a person you really wouldn't want to have in your life. Michelle had given Patty multiple chances to try and get her life together by giving her odd jobs and extra money, and just overall trying her best to take care of her. But to be honest, there's only so much you can help some people. And this all kind of culminated when Patty returned from a family trip in South Carolina, and then the events of December 2011 took place. After Michelle didn't show up for work for a few days, her twin brother Phil Axe stopped by to see what was wrong. And upon entering the house, he found that the whole place was just ransacked and chairs were destroyed and just everything was messed up. But the creepiest part was that he saw a foot sticking out of a pile of Christmas presents underneath the Christmas tree. And upon sifting through the pile of children's toys and presents, he'd found the body of his twin sister, who had a towel covering her face and was severely beaten. Fortunately, it didn't take long for authorities to catch up to Patty, as she had returned to South Carolina and confessed to the crime. And the worst part of the story to me is that supposedly the neighbors didn't hear anything when the murder was taking place, but then also other articles said that several neighbors did. And I understand that nobody likes a nosy neighbor, but dude, when you're hearing like a woman screaming and wailing for her life, then I would at the very least check it out and see what's going on, but that's just me. Now, overall, I'm glad that Patty didn't get away with her crime and that the O'Dowd family got some sort of closure, but obviously none of that's going to ever bring Michelle back, so may she rest in peace. Moving on to a more lighthearted yet crazy story coming from Ohio. A 44-year-old man in December 2011 named Terry Trent broke into a family's house and decided not to rob it, not to murder them, but decided to kick back, relax, and maybe throw up some Christmas decorations. Terry was just in the Christmas spirit, I guess, because he went to the garage door, hung a wreath, lit some candles, and hung some lights, and I guess got tuckered out with all that Christmas cheer and decided to just sit on the couch and watch TV with the volume turned all the way up. This didn't last too long, as the mom and son came home, and the boy, upon coming into the living room, obviously freaked out that there was some weird guy sitting in his couch, and Terry just said, "Oh, I'm sorry. I'll get my things to go. I didn't mean to scare you." So yeah, needless to say, the police showed up and arrested Terry, and I'd like to think there was a moment in this entire thing where Terry just sat in a cell or in the squad car and just thought to himself like, man, I love the holidays. So this story is probably my favorite just because when I first read it, it just immediately made me think of Point Break. But instead of wearing ex-president's mask, it's just one dude who's dressed as Santa who walked into the bank. Yes, you heard that right. In 2014, during San Francisco's annual SantaCon, an unidentified man walked in dressed as Santa and robbed a Union Square bank. If you're not sure what SantaCon is, it's essentially an annual Christmas festival where thousands of people dress up like Santa Claus and just do whatever Santa Clauses do. Santa Claus Santa Claus is. Imagine Comic-Con and St. Patrick's Day parades all rolled into one, but instead of your favorite fictional characters or people wearing green, it's just people dressed as Santa Claus who drink beer and dry hump in alleys and do God knows what else. But during all this madness of SantaCon, a lone genius thought of the brilliant idea that he was going to blend in with the crowd and walk into a Union Square bank and really stick it to the man. An unidentified Grinch handed a note to the teller telling him to give him an undisclosed amount of money and said that he had a gun on him, but he never pulled out the gun. He just said he had it. And the teller just complied and gave it to him, and the man walked out, was never seen again. In my opinion, this was a victimless crime because, I mean, hey, the money in the bank's insured, so, you know, go get him. Now, my own personal headcanon, I like to imagine this guy took the money after the robbery, and with the spirit of Christmas and giving just burning passionately inside of him, he decided to go to the local orphanage and just put the money in the deposit box and walked away. Now, some of you may say that sounds ridiculous, but hey, I think the best of people, you know? And maybe you're just a Scrooge. I don't know. The funniest part about this whole thing is that this is not the first time someone's robbed a bank dressed as Santa. And it's probably not going to be the last. This has happened several times, like more times than I can count, honestly. And something I learned recently is that apparently one of Texas's most famous bank robberies was done by a man named Marshall Ratliff, in which he dressed as Santa Claus when he robbed the bank. And when the police put a search out for him and a wanted poster, they used a picture of Santa Claus as the possible description of the suspect. Needless to say, old Saint Nick was brought to justice rather quickly. Here we come to my least favorite part of the video, the part where I have to wrap everything up and say goodbye to you guys. Thank you, as always, for tuning into my channel. And I promise I will get the Cryptid Iceberg video out. It's coming. I'm almost done. Just don't worry. And to all of you guys who stumble upon this video during the holiday season, no matter what holiday it is, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, Christmas, doesn't matter. I hope you guys have the best holiday you can possibly have. Whether it be spending time with friends, family, and if you find yourself feeling lonely this time of year, just remember, there's somebody for everybody. And that somebody is me. And just in case I don't see you, have a good one and stay safe. Goodbye.